This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP Network.
Are you ready to go the distance with Tricia's Disney pick? Or will Melinda deliver a Jurassic-sized knockout punch with her universal choice on this episode of Theme Park Throwdown? Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 23 of the Theme Park Throwdown. I'm Tricia at Tricia Travels on Facebook and Tricia Travels 85 on Instagram. And
I'm Melinda. I'm at Melinda's Magical Adventures on Facebook and Instagram.
so we are going to continue with our Who's Best in Resorts categories. However, we have to announce our Who Won poll from last week because Disney won for Best Live Shows. So,
I saw that one coming. I don't want to hear any more complaints from you or like whining from you. I don't want to announce the winner because you've been winning far too often lately. Done with it.
Yeah, that's true. I do have to say, though, I think there's quality on both ends, but Disney definitely has quantity on their side. But
It's freaking Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is just so great on that front.
One of my favorite shows is the horror makeup show, like hands down. So,
oh yeah,
I can say that now because Disney won.
Shut up. Now that you know it's not going to hurt you. Oh, I love it. It's wonderful.
All right. Anyway, enough rubbing it in. Melinda, let's share some news.
All right. Well, we now have all the original HHN houses announced. We've got all 5 bangers out there. We're very excited for those. And as of recording today, we have the drop of Hellraiser as the 3rd IP house that we now know. So we are excited about that one. I'm excited about that one. I've never seen those movies, but I downloaded them already today because got to get my research going, and I'm excited about that. The coolest thing I think about this announcement is that they also announced that Doug Bradley, who was the original actor that played Pinhead in the movies, is going to be doing all of the voices in the houses on both coasts. So you really are going to get an authentic Hellraiser Pinhead experience, voice and all. So I think that's a really cool thing that they did, and that'll just add to the excitement and the immersiveness of it, I guess. How are you feeling about this one?
Apprehensive.
Yeah.
We
shall see. But so we are just now waiting on 3 more IP houses, the shows, and the menus. And multi-night tickets they should be dropping very soon, any day now, really. So if you are looking to get some of those, you can contact Tricia or I, and we can help you get your hands on some of those. Some of them do sell out rather quickly, especially if you are looking for a multi-night ticket with an express option. Multi-night tickets with express sold out in like 18 minutes last year after they were dropped. So you have to move. Yeah. So if multi-night tickets are something that you know you are going to want, make a plan now, contact one of us now so that we can keep that eye out for you. And as soon as we see them drop, we can get our hands on them. Next, we have a date kind of for our category 10 restaurant in City Walk. The construction walls that they put up a few weeks ago now have decals that say that we are going to have a late 2027 opening date, which is kind of surprising to me. That's a long time for one restaurant. Yeah. I know it's a really large structure. It's going to be a really large space, but late 2027?
I wonder if they have to do something with it being right on the waterfront property to reinforce like the base or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that's why. because otherwise that just seems like a really long time frame for one
That's
restaurant.
like a
So
Disney timeline.
I know. Anyways, we've got that. They have added some additional nights for Volcano Bay nights. If that is something that you are interested in doing, the special Volcano Bay nighttime events, the little parties that they have. I know we talked about those in our water parks episodes. They now have additional nights added. So go ahead and get your tickets for that if that's something that you would like to do. And they have announced the annual pass holder nights are August 15th and 16th. So these are going to be separately ticketed events that take place on the 15th and 16th at night, from park close until I think they go until like midnight or something like that. But it's only for annual pass holders, and they have exclusive food and drink items and access to the rides with lower wait times, obviously, and things like that. So events that looked really fun in the past. I'm glad they keep bringing them back. It means that there's interest for them, and hopefully they keep improving them as well. So I believe tickets for these are already on sale. If not, they should be on sale pretty soon. But that's all I've got from Universal. It was a very slow, other than HHN and all of the HHN announcements that have come the past week. It was a really slow news week for Universal. How about Disney?
They gotta hold some stuff back. So
Yeah, I guess so.
honestly, Disney kind of followed suit. A couple of things out on the West Coast. So if you haven't yet seen it, there's a viral video going around of a new pirate animatronic in the Pirates of the Caribbean out in Disneyland. And he's holding
People are
one of
not
like
happy.
the cursed coins, and his face changes from like more of a human face into more of a skeletal face. I don't know. I mean, I think it's nice that they brought some dynamic to the scene. It's pretty early on in the ride. And I know that people are like, the face doesn't look that real, but like, how close really are you to it? You're just kind of like floating by pretty fast.
Yeah. I think it's
I
just
don't know. But
those projected animatronic faces just they never look quite right. So I think that's the big problem that people had with it. You know, that's why they got rid of the Elsa and Anna projected faces on the Frozen
yeah.
ride and had to revamp that. And so I think people are like, well, you just got rid of it on Frozen because it didn't work, and now you're going to put it in Pirates for no reason. What are you doing? You know, that's understandable.
So there's a video, and this came out like over a year ago, I think, where they go behind the tech of this. And this is like the 2.0 of Frozen. So the face is more like actually structured like as a face. So when the projection is on there, it actually instead of it being more of like rounded, I feel like Elsa and
Yeah,
Anna was very like it didn't quite fit like
it's just
the
like a flat
anatomy.
surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I don't know. I'd like to see it if it comes to the Magic Kingdom. I wouldn't hate it. Like I said, I
Yeah,
don't know where they would put it. That first
I
scene
think
is
it's a
a
cool
lot of it.
addition. The
A lot
idea
of it
of
is
it,
just still scenes, in Pirates of the
right?
Caribbean. So anytime until you get like down the drop and you're more into the ride, and I just think
The
having
ride,
some
yeah,
movement is
yeah,
is
makes
not
it
a
more
bad thing.
dynamic.
Okay, so this is a big okay, maybe more like modest deal for West Coasters. But in downtown Disney, the new Earl of Sandwich has opened. Okay.
Oh
And the
yeah.
reason I want to talk about this is that the first time I was there, it was closed when I was there this most recent time, but when I was there for the first time, this was the most horrendously laid out restaurant in any Disney experience I've ever had. It was basically
Oh,
like a galley, and you had to like cross back over people, and it was a hot mess of a thing. Very limited seating. I have seen pictures of the new location. It's much better laid out, more like the one in Disney Springs in Florida. So I think they
okay.
definitely utilize the space better. I've been to both locations, and I mean it's decent. It's like a glorified Subway, to be real honest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I'm gonna get all the hate mail now, so that's fine.
People
But
do love
yeah,
that place.
so well they can love it on both coasts again now. So A little bit bigger news. Dates for Jollywood Nights and the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party were released this past week. Surprisingly, there are 2 dates after January 1st that Jollywood Nights will be offered. I think it's like the 3rd and the 5th or
Oh,
something. So yeah,
that's
I thought that was
interesting.
interesting. I also think that they probably will do well with that, especially Jollywood Nights. It's more seasonal than it is specifically Christmas.
Yeah.
And for people who maybe like come down after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, or like shortly after New Year's, like they'll have an opportunity. Or,
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly when marathon weekend is, but they can always try to go early and get into one of these parties. It'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see how well it goes over and if they end up doing it next year. Personally, I had a really terrible experience with Jollywood Nights, and I will never
Oh,
pay to go again. So, yeah,
future episode notes. Okay.
yes. You feel like I'm writing this down. I'm
We
holding
will
this over
cover the
her
holidays
head.
at some yeah.
There's also a fair number of holiday activities that are returning. You've got Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. The Magical Menagerie is returning to Animal Kingdom. I'm right now, so we made kind of last week sort of impromptu plans to go down for a long weekend as a family. It's my daughter's golden birthday, so we're
Yeah.
celebrating it in Disney, and I'm just kind of waiting to see who they get for the candlelight processional, and if it's
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
while we're down there. Our trip lines up with my absolute favorite person besides Melinda in the whole wide world, and that is Ashley Eckstein. She's the voice of Ahsoka Tano,
Oh, no way.
and so I'm hoping she does the same weekend this year so that I can see her. But
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath, but I'm kind of holding my breath. So
Oh,
we'll see.
that's cool. I'll cross my fingers
And
and my toes and my eyes for you.
and I don't care if it's my daughter's birthday party weekend. If it's somebody I want to see,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to the Cali
That takes
Processional.
precedence.
Alrighty. And then last but not least, I know I'm kind of ending on a downer, but the large gingerbread house will not be returning to the Grand Floridian, even though construction of the lobby has been completed. At this time, with the Birdcage Lounge, there's just not enough
Yeah.
space to accommodate this. I think this was
Okay.
a
I was
move,
wondering
a
why.
smart, yeah, I think it's a smart move on Disney's part, honestly. There's been a growing number of resort guest complaints because of how clogged it is, the noise
Yep.
level, because people will flock to this gingerbread house. They use it
Yep.
like people in years past would sell treats out of it. Like it's large enough for at least 2 to 3 humans to be inside of it at one time. I'm also
Yeah.
assuming it's a costly thing for Disney. There will be other displays throughout the resort. And from my understanding, they're going to be doing some smaller gingerbread houses instead. I'm not sure if they're going to still be offering like seasonal treats at Grand Floridian,
Mhm.
or if because of this, they're going to maybe offer seasonal treats in different areas of the park more readily. That hasn't been
Yeah.
announced yet. So, yeah, more news to come on the holidays as we get closer. We are, in a heat wave
Yeah.
right now, so not many
And
people
I
are thinking
mean,
about Christmas.
right. Yeah. It's 100 degrees here. They are definitely trending towards trying to attract less attention at the hotels for people who are not staying at the hotels. Like we talked about last week with the whole Disney Springs bus transportation
Hmm.
debacle that's going on right now. And I think they really have heard complaints from guests of the hotels saying that everything is too crowded, waits for food and stuff like that are like way too long, and they're really trying to make some changes there. One thing that I want to bring up that I was kind of bummed about is that I saw online yesterday that in order to make a mobile order for food at any of the deluxe
Hmm.
resorts, you now have to be there. And
Hmm.
when I first saw it, I didn't know it was just deluxe resorts. And in my head, I was like, well, that would have screwed my trip a couple months ago because that was like what I did when I was on the Skyliner on the way from the parks back to Pop Century was
Oh
place
yeah.
my mobile order. So it was ready by the time I got there and I could just grab it on the way back to my room. It's,
Yeah.
I guess, a little different for deluxe resorts, but I guess you could do that like while on the monorail and stuff too. Oh, I want to place my order so that it's ready when I get there. And now you can't do that. So that's a little frustrating and I think could
Mhm.
be a big hindrance for some people. But again, I understand why they're doing it. It just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, from my understanding, I think it's called like geofencing or whatever, and it's like pretty
Yeah.
tight. Like
Yeah.
it's literally like the property.
You have to be in the
So,
resort. Yeah. Yes. And I saw somebody on TikTok talking about the whole not being able to take the bus transportation from Disney Springs to the hotels unless you have a dining reservation. And she was like, well, what if I want to go to Trader Sam's and go
mhm.
sit at the bar and dine at the bar? You can't do that. So that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, for me, it's going to reduce how much I spend in Disney Springs because I'm just not going to go there if
yeah,
transportation is hindered. And I'm not the kind of
yeah,
person, and I know that there are people out there. I was never the person who would park my car at Disney Springs to get free parking. I've never done that.
right,
So,
right.
I played by the rules, and unfortunately, when you don't play by the rules, nobody can have nice things. So
No, for
that's
sure.
sad, but it is, I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. It just, you have to be prepared to plan slightly differently potentially. So, all right.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
on the subject of resorts, we're not going to go quite as high as a deluxe resort, but we're going to shoot just below that. So, Melinda, start us off with what universal options you want to talk about tonight.
You got it. So we're kind of in the moderate category now if you're a Disney goer. And at Universal, they don't have a moderate category. And I know I've mentioned before that they have kind of switched up the way that they're doing their categories now. So certain hotels being in certain categories don't necessarily make the most sense anymore. So the way I'm going to be doing this tonight, I'm talking about 5 hotels. 2 of them are technically in the signature collection, which is like the highest top tier. But in my head, I kind of separate that signature collection by hotels that offer the free express passes and hotels that don't. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the 2 hotels in the signature collection that do not offer the express passes, and then the 3 prime value collection hotels. Just a quick note on all of the ones that I'm going to talk about come with early park admission to all of the Universal parks, various forms of free resort transportation, car rental desks. It's the Avis car rental company, fitness centers, and arcades and game rooms. All of these hotels will have all of those. So just wanted to get that out of the way first so I don't have to repeat myself 5 times saying all of that. But we'll start at Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort, which is in the Signature Collection. This is one of my absolute favorite resorts. I think aside from Hard Rock, this one is probably my favorite. It's really beautiful. It's Caribbean inspired, very bright and open. The smell in here is absolutely fantastic. I want to take that smell and bottle it and have it in my whole house all the time. It's just beautiful. It's a very calming atmosphere, I feel like, with this resort. So it's just a really nice place to be. It opened July 14th of 2016, so we are coming right up on the 10-year anniversary, which is crazy because I honestly feel like this hotel has been around for longer than that, but I think maybe it's because I've stayed there so much that it just feels like it's been around longer, but I stay there so much because it's absolutely beautiful and you can get some really great rates. This hotel has 1,000 rooms, so it's pretty large. 1,000 rooms that sleep 5 people at 321 square feet, and then 83 suites ranging anywhere from 529 square feet to 1,353 square feet. And it also has a club level. The average price, according to Universal's website, for this hotel for a standard room is $262 a night, which, in my opinion, is an absolute steal for a hotel of this caliber. I think that's a really great deal. This hotel has the largest pool on Universal property. It's absolutely massive, and it has this kind of It's not a sandbar in the middle of it. It's made out of like concrete, but it seems like a sandbar where there's a more shallow portion in the center of the pool and then the deeper portions on both ends. So it's kind of nice. You can walk from like one side of the pool to the other across this shallower region. And it's really beautiful. There's a ton of seating. There is a children's like splash pad area, a hot tub. It does have a water slide. This hotel also has a really impressive fitness center. They've got a really large space and a good assortment of weight machines and dumbbells and different pieces of equipment and things like that. In terms of dining, there is Amatista's Cookhouse, which is a full service restaurant. There is a full service tapas bar called Strongwater Tavern, which is really well known for its huge selection of Caribbean rums and just having really great food, really great drinks, and really great service. I know this is a favorite amongst a lot of visitors to this resort. They
I like
have
rum.
yeah, I'm good with Caribbean rum. Mhm. They have the Drum Club Canteen, which is the pool bar. New Dutch Trading Company, which is the quick service location. They've got sandwiches, soups, salads, ice cream. This is where you're going to get your coffee. So it's quick service stuff. They have a grab and go area and then like sundries. And then they also have a separate Universal Studios store for souvenirs and bathing suits and resort wear and things like that. This is also one of the convention hotels at Universal and has a ton of convention space. They have 247,000 square feet of convention meeting space. I have been to several conventions at this hotel and they are great. It's really well done. Everything is in like some convention hotels you go to and like all the meeting areas and ballrooms and stuff like that are in very separate areas and it's kind of cumbersome to have to walk between all of them. This is all centrally located in one area and it's beautiful and laid out very well. It also connects with interior tunnels to the Royal Pacific Resort and their convention center. So if you have an absolutely massive group and you need to rent out both and be able to travel back and forth between both, you can do that very easily. And Sapphire Falls has its own water taxi dock and water taxi transportation. So that again is a huge perk of this resort because the only other 3 hotels that offer this are the top level hotels at Universal. Then you obviously have the buses as well, and there is a walking path, and it's about an 8 to 10 minute walk to Islands of Adventure. So it actually is a very short walk if you want to take that walking path. So that is Sapphire Falls.
I was looking at like the number of rooms and it's actually pretty surprising how many dining options there are for this space. And granted, I'm sure they have to have some options when there's like a convention. Have you ever stayed during a convention you weren't attending?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was just curious if there's
I can't remember ever being there with another convention going on while that I wasn't attending.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were attending, did you ever feel like it was overly crowded or do you feel like they handled traffic pretty well? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good to know then. If you end up staying there and there is a convention, it sounds like it probably won't impact your stay at all or very minimal.
Aside from Cabana Bay, this is the largest hotel on property. And so they have plenty of room for having that convention space for sure.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to move right next door to Aventura. This is in the Prime Value collection. They call it the fidget spinner hotel because it kind of it's like one building with 3 like sides that come out. And with the way that it's shaped, if you look at it from above, it really does look like one of those fidget spinners. They call it sleek and modern themed design. There's very minimal theming to this hotel. It's kind of like sterile and I hate to say boring, but it kind of is. I've never stayed here. I don't really plan on ever staying here. I just don't see the appeal of it, except for its proximity to Sapphire Falls, so you can take that water taxi, and for the price point. But honestly, for the price point, I would rather just go across the street to Cabana Bay. So just not a super huge fan of this, because I don't spend a lot of time at the hotel typically when I'm at Universal, but I still want it to feel like a fun themed environment, you know? And this just doesn't do that for me. This hotel opened on August 16th of 2018. It has 600 rooms and suites. The standard rooms are 238 square feet, and the suites go up to 889 square feet and can sleep up to 9 people. So if you do have a larger party, this might be a good hotel to look at, because you can fit so many people in some of these suite options. The rooms also have floor-to-ceiling windows, so you can get some really great views from this hotel, especially if you book what they call a skyline view, which is really just like a Volcano Bay view room. And that will get you kind of the same view that you can get with some of the rooms at Cabana Bay, which looks right on to that volcano and into Volcano Bay. So you can get some really beautiful views from this park. Average price of a standard room at this hotel right now is $152 a night, which is not bad at all.
Crazy. Yeah.
I know, it is. It is.
Like,
they have an outdoor pool and a splash pad as well. The claim to fame really for this hotel is the Bar 17 Bistro, which is the bar and restaurant which is up on the 17th floor, the very roof essentially of the hotel. Gives you 360 views of the area. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so gorgeous up there at sunset. I'll have to post some pictures that I have from a trip that I took last year where we had an event up at Bar 17, and it's really beautiful up there. And they have a full service restaurant with really great food and drinks. They have the Bar Soul, which is the pool bar, Bar Ventura, which is the lobby bar, a full-service Starbucks, and Urban Pantry, which is their quick service and grab-and-go location. Transportation from this hotel, you have the walking path to the Legacy Parks, which is going to be probably about a 12-minute walk. You can walk the 2 minutes next door to Sapphire Falls. It is directly adjacent to Sapphire Falls, so you can take advantage of that water taxi, or you have the buses. So that is Aventura. We will move to Helios Grand, which is over in the Epic Universe area. It is inside Epic Universe. This is another hotel that is part of the Signature Collection, but does not offer the express passes. This hotel has obviously a dedicated entrance to Epic Universe, considering it is literally inside the park. Incredible theme park view rooms. I will be staying here in September. I wasn't planning on it at first, but I have just changed my reservation and now I'm really excited for it. I'm not staying in a theme park view room, but I don't care. I am just excited to be that close to Epic and that excitement. So that'll be really cool. This hotel opened on April 16th of 2025, has 500 Mediterranean themed rooms. The standard rooms will be anywhere between 325 and 340 square feet. They have suites that are up to 1,500 square feet, and they have How to Train Your Dragon kid suites, which are absolutely adorable. They are so cool.
So cute.
I know. I want to stay in one of those someday with my kids for sure. And this hotel also has a club level if you would like to take advantage of that. Right now, according to Universal Studios website, the average price for a night at Helios Grand is going to run you $419. But it does seem like those rates have been falling a bit lately. That's kind of, I feel like, the average what we've seen for the past year since it's been open. But I was just able to get a pass holder rate for September. Obviously, it's a pass holder rate. It's going to be lower than a regular price. However, a night in September was $215 with a pass holder rate. So I should have looked at what that night is maybe I'll look that up right now, what that night is without a discount. But I was really shocked that I could get it for that price. So maybe prices are going to come down a bit for this hotel. I guess that kind of remains to be seen, but it looks like maybe we could be trending in that direction, which would be great.
I wonder.
This hotel hasn't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder how full the hotel is, like what their occupancy rate is, and if that's playing a role. If because like Universal hotels generally do run more reasonably priced, and if people are just like, it's not worth the extra right now to stay that close. So
right.
Interesting.
That makes sense. And I know it is a little trickier, obviously, to stay here if you are going to spend the majority of your trip in the legacy parks, because
it's harder.
it's far away, it's only bus transportation. But if you're going to be spending a lot of time in Epic Universe, I mean, you're not going to get better than this. So
Yeah.
let me see. I'm bringing up the regular rates right now. Yeah. So like I said, I booked it for $215, and that's including taxes and fees and everything. $215 for an annual pass rate. For that same night without a discount, it's $344. So it is still lower, substantially lower than what they're doing the average price is. So we will see how that goes. This resort has an absolutely gorgeous pool area. It is so beautiful. It looks like a luxury resort, and I am very excited to at least take a walk around. I'm only staying here one night, and it's going to be the last night of my trip, and I'm spending those 2 days in Epic, and I obviously am going to want to get as much time in Epic as I can. So I'm not planning on spending a lot of time at the hotel, but I need to at least kind of take a lap and take a look around things, because all the pictures and all the footage that I've seen of this area is gorgeous. So excited about that.
It is a really cool pool area. It's like tiered.
Oh yeah, you've stayed there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They use the space. It's a smaller space than you would expect compared to like some of the other hotels that have these ginormous pool areas. So it is kind of like tiered. So I think to try to like fit more seating.
Yeah.
The pool itself is actually not very large.
Okay.
Which is fine, because it's not like the hugest.
Yeah, the room
hotel.
only has 500, or the hotel only has 500 rooms. So, I mean, it doesn't really need a massive pool, to be honest.
The one thing I will say about this hotel is that it is definitely geared towards teens and adults. Like the pool area does not have a splash pad. There's no like jets of water. It is very much geared for older population as compared to kids, which we didn't really know, because
pool, I feel like.
Yeah. We went in early July, so the hotel had only been open like April, May, June, like 3 or 4 months.
Couple months. Yeah.
So we didn't know as much as we do now. And I was there with my daughter, who at the time was 11, and she still had fun. But like, it's hard taking a kid from a Disney pool and putting her in this pool. Yeah. And she's like, where's the water slide? I'm like, there isn't one. She's like, well, why are we staying here? I'm like, so Harry Potter's like right there. Like,
what
that's
the heck is this? Yeah.
You got to trade off a little bit, so.
Yeah. That makes sense. As far as dining, we have the famous Bar Helios, which is going to be on the top level and offers absolutely unmatched views into Epic Universe. If you can get a dining reservation for Bar Helios during the new Celestial Goodnight show, you're not going to get any better than that. I'm so excited to be able to just sit there and look out over the park after, because I'm planning on getting a reservation after the park is closed, because I want to be in the park until it closes. But just to be able to look at the views and see what everybody's been raving about when they talk about Bar Helios. So they have a huge drink menu and some really cool and innovative, like small plates, like tapas menu. And I have heard quite a bit from UUOP that They are very pricey, so make sure you're looking out for that before you go. But I've heard really good things about the food and the drinks here. We've got Flora Taverna, which is a full service restaurant known for their breakfast buffet specifically, but they do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You like it there?
Okay, I'll say this. Their breakfast buffet is like probably the best breakfast you can get in all of the properties. You are paying
Okay.
Disney character prices for this though. Like it is
Okay.
expensive. All I have to
Okay.
say is mini Nutella jars. And yes, you can take as many as you
Oh,
want. That's all I'm saying.
oh my God, that's awesome. We also have Lotus Lagoon, which is the pool bar. You have the Flora Taverna lobby bar and the Aurora Market, which is the quick service and grab and go option. This hotel obviously has, I was going to say walking path, but it's not a walking path. It is a sidewalk right into Epic Universe with its own dedicated entrance. But to get anywhere else, you are going to need to take a bus. That is the only other form of transportation. I, I know that maybe it doesn't live up to the hype that people had in their minds before it opened. They I feel like expectations were so high for this hotel before it opened, and that the reality of it has kind of let some people down. But regardless, it is a really beautiful resort. And considering the fact that now prices seem to maybe be going down, hopefully that's going to be a permanent thing. And I think it makes it worth a stay, especially if you're planning on spending a lot of time in Epic Universe, because it
Mhm.
doesn't get easier than that. So
Yeah,
I'm excited about staying there for sure.
I think it's worth staying there at least once. Now, I was really lucky because when I booked it, the prices were really low, like even lower
Yeah,
than
they
what
were
you were
super
able to
low at
get.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I booked it day one that we could. So I lucked out.
Okay.
But proximity is great. The one thing that I will warn you of, there is no place to line up for rope drop inside the hotel. It is claustrophobic. It's tall ceilings where they have you line up. It's very loud. I'll be curious to see if they've done anything. Like they had people snaking out a door and into the pool area because they filled
Oh.
the hallway off of the lobby where you go.
Hmm.
And they what they end up eventually doing is just letting people through security, and then they held us. There's like a kind of an arched ramp that goes down, and they held us on that, and that filled in with people. It just got to a
Okay.
point where they were getting overwhelmed with the number of guests. So just I
Sure.
mean, it probably wasn't like a ton of people. I mean, I'm really bad at judging, maybe like 100 to 150 people, but there just isn't a lot of space there. So
Yeah. When
again,
you have that many
we
people in
went,
a really small area, it seems like a lot.
yeah, and we like I said, we went when it was only a few months into being open. Hopefully by the time you go, I'm really curious to hear your feedback because now that they've
Yeah.
had time to like tweak things, I'm curious to see what they've done with some
Yeah.
of the things that we really struggled with. But I will tell you, the access to Epic, I mean, we walked on Harry Potter because we were right there. And then we
Yeah.
got off and crossed over into Darkmoor and we did everything in Darkmoor in literally like 30 minutes. Nobody was
Oh,
in
I'm
that
so
land.
excited for that. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was, and if you're on the back side of the park, so
Yeah.
everyone else that's
Right.
coming from bus to that park, they have to make their
Has
way
to walk
all the way
all the way
back.
through. Right.
So strategically, don't go to the front. Start in the back where you're
No.
at and work your way
Yeah.
forward. So,
Yeah. I originally was booked at Stella Nova, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And then I saw that $215 and I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to have to do it. I I texted Tricia and I was like, hey, is it worth the extra $100 to switch from Stella Nova to Helios? And she was like, yeah, do it. So
yes. I do want to say too, when you had mentioned people are disappointed, the bus ride to the legacy parks is shorter than any bus ride you would take at Disney. The
Okay.
difference is Disney, you stay in the bubble, so you don't ever
Yeah.
lose that kind of magic. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, when you're going between Epic and the Legacy parks, you're passing,
You're driving
like,
down the highway.
yeah, convenience stores and stuff like that. And you're like,
Yeah, it
I
takes you
don't
out
like
of it a little
this.
bit.
Just
That
put up
makes sense.
walls and paint pictures of all the movies from Universal or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad about the way that I'm structuring my trip too, because I'm going to spend the whole front half I'm there for 6 days, and the first 4 days I will be at the legacy parks, and I'm not going over to the other side to the Epic area at all. And then those last 2 days I will be just at Epic and not going back over to the legacy parks at all. So it makes it easy. That way I'm not going to have to worry about bus transportation
Yeah.
back and forth from one to
Yeah.
the other. But I did do that last year, and it was very seamless and easy.
Yeah, it really isn't that bad. I
Yeah.
do think the one thing that Universal has done, like, this is popular with the Disney population, is doing the split stay, and I feel like
Yeah.
now Universal has a reason to do a split stay. So
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are doing that now, for
yeah,
sure. And it makes sense. There's no reason why you shouldn't, especially with like some of the prices that they have and stuff like what I'll talk about now. Stella Nova and Terra Luna. These are sister resorts, which are very much like the Endless Summer Dockside and Surfside properties. So lots of similarities, lots of different rooms to choose from, but you're going to get pretty much the same experience at both. The buildings themselves are really beautiful with these multicolored glass tiled exteriors that are absolutely gorgeous and look different depending on like the lighting and which way you're looking at them. They're absolutely beautiful. I love them. So they're really easy to spot and awesome to look at. The biggest difference, I think, between these two hotels is that Stella Nova has a walking path to Epic Universe where Terra Luna does not. So, Terra Luna, the only way you are getting to any park on Universal property is a bus. But Stella Nova, you can either take the buses or you can walk if you are going to Epic. Stella Nova opened on January 21st of 2025, and Terra Luna opened on March 25th of 2025. Stella is like space galaxy themed, and Terra Luna is more like desert and land based theme. Each hotel has 750 rooms. All of them are 2 queen bedrooms, and all of them are 315 square feet. So you are not going to get like suites or anything like that at these resorts. They are just standard rooms. Stella's average price right now is about $170 per night, and Terra Luna's is averaging about $150. And I would think that that $20 price difference is solely because of that walking path that Stella Nova has. Although I have heard people say that they enjoy the theming of Stella Nova a lot more than the theming of Terra Luna as well. So maybe that's a little bit of that as well. Stella has a pool and a kids splash area where Terra Luna only has a pool. There's no splash area there. Each hotel has no full service dining, but they do have a pool bar, a lobby bar, and a quick service like grab and go restaurant in both. And like I said, main transportation is going to be buses, except for being able to walk from Stella. And that's like like 7 or 8 minute walk, I think, from Stella Nova.
it's not bad.
But they're very similar and give you some really awesome amenities. So you're not going to go wrong staying at any of these properties, especially for that price.
Yeah. Okay. You might win on the price category. However, there are some great options at Disney as well, and I'm going to go in order by opening date. So the
Okay.
first are the cabins at Fort Wilderness that technically opened in November 19th of 1971. And at that point, there were just campsites and there was a railroad that actually went through the property from 1973 to 1980. Like, I did not know that, so I had to share with
I
all of
didn't
you so
either.
that you have random facts of Disney knowledge now.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
cabins were added in 1978, and this was just after the fated River Country water park opened, and that later permanently closed in 2001. There are 350 cabins. They have all been recently renovated. They are very different now. They're a lot more modern, but the interiors are pretty much the same in terms of what kind of amenities that they have. And this will run you, depending on time of year, between $500 and $800 a night. I know, gas, grab your pearls, but this
But it's a
does
whole cabin. It's like it's
exactly.
different. It's not just a hotel room. It's different.
You get a parking space, you get deck space. I believe there's even like an area for outdoor grilling.
Mhm.
The average room size is, or like cabin size, is 504 square feet. And it sleeps up to 6 people. So you have a queen bed, you have bunk beds, and then a pull out. I think it's a double. In like the living space, there's a TV, there's a kitchenette with like a decent sized refrigerator, a single bathroom with a shower that separates kind of the living space from the one bedroom. So if you have people that are late night owls, they can stay out in the group space, while people like me who go to bed at like 9 o'clock can go to the bedroom and fall asleep peacefully. For dining, there's not a ton of options. They do have a quick service called Trails End. It is a little bit of a hike to get there depending on where your cabin is located. They do have an internal bus route, so if you don't want to walk, or if the weather's not great,
Mm.
you can wait for that. More than that, people will rent golf carts, and if you do want to go that route, if they're highly popular, I would book that at that 60-day mark so that you can ensure that you get a
Okay.
golf cart. That does make things much easier for transporting around. It is a big space. You
Yeah.
do see other cabins, but there's a good amount of distance between each other. There is also a sit-down option that I have previously mentioned and raved about, and that's the Hoop-de-Doo musical review. And their pool bars, actually, because I think because they have limited dining, their pool bars provide generous snacks. Like, you can get pizza, you can get like pretzels, more snacky type things, but they do have some heavier options too. And those are more readily available, like located closer to where you might be staying. They have a generous freestanding general store called Meadow Trading Post. And this has everything. It has your sundries, but it also has items like toiletries. There's camping gear, like if you need bug spray and stuff like that, they cover it all. So if you forget something, it will be there. And the transportation to the parks is predominantly bus for Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot. And you can take the water taxi for the Magic Kingdom. If for whatever reason the taxi is down or the weather is really inclement that they can't run the taxi, they will also bus from Magic Kingdom. The featured pool is the Meadow Swimming Pool. It's fort themed, and there's like a whirlpool and a water slide. This is a lot of fun for kids. There is a secondary swimming pool that's more of like the quieter pool, called the Wilderness Swimming Pool. And they also offer daily crafts. This will definitely be a picture I pass along to Melinda. They have a Chip and Dale campfire sing-along. All right, folks, it's
Oh, yeah.
story time. So
I've heard about that. Yeah.
yes, and I may have shared this. My first magical moment in Disney World was the first time I
Oh,
went as
yeah.
a paying adult, and my daughter was like, she had just turned 4, and we did a split stay. We were at the Little Mermaid rooms, and then I booked us a couple of nights at the cabins for more space. And my husband is really into like the woods and being outdoors, so I thought it would be a good way to like buy in from
Meet in the
him
middle.
by saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were walking again, we were newbies at this. We didn't know about the golf carts or anything like that. So she and I were walking to this campfire sing along. My husband stayed back at the cabin to do work, boo. And this cast member, she drives up and she in a golf cart and she's like, "Where are you headed?" And we're like, "Oh, we're going to the sing along." And she's like, "I'll give you a ride. I'm headed that way." And I was like, "Oh, we don't want to be a burden." She's like, "No, hop in." So my daughter is like, she can talk to anybody. So they get in and she's just like chatting away with this lady. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. My dad didn't want to come." And, like telling the story about how it was just, we're having a girls' night. When we get there, we buy the overpriced s'mores kit. And while we're making our way to one of the campfires, the same cast member comes up and she's like, "Would you guys like to meet Chip and Dale?" And I'm like, "Yeah, where are they?" And she's like, "Well, we always have a family of the night and we'd like for you to be our family tonight." And I was like, okay, I had no clue what was happening,
What was,
and so
what that entails.
they have a building behind kind of their like their stadium seating or whatever. And that's where Chip and Dale were hanging out with their handlers, and we got like 15 minutes of uninterrupted time with them. And it was
Oh,
my
wow.
daughter,
That's cool.
like she was like picking up leaves and trying to find like nuts with them and everything, and it was just so lovely. And then she's like, and the cast member was like, "Okay, you're gonna walk in. If you want me to take pictures, I can take your phone." So she like walked in front of us and they walked in and like announced like the Helwig family or whatever. And it was just like, I mean, my daughter, she was 4. She does remember this. And like,
I'm sure.
it really stuck out to her to this day. Chip and Dale are like her favorite characters. So it's a lasting
Chaos
impact on
twins.
her. Yes. Which is fair.
That's
That's
so
fitting
cool,
for my
though.
family.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the I got picked for Ollivander's wand thing. That's what this is for Disney.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
That's cool.
besides that, there's trails for biking and running. They have the Tricircle D Ranch. You can get carriage rides. You can interact with the horses to some degree. Like you can get up to like the stables and stuff and kind of take a look at them. They do have, I think, tours that you can also do with that. So if you're looking for like an afternoon activity, archery and fishing. They have a wine and wood shop, which is a 2-hour board and brush type experience. It'll run you about $80. So if you want to drink wine and paint things on wood, this is a good opportunity to do that.
Okay, it's painting things on wood, because I was like, if you are woodworking while you are drinking wine, I don't know if that's a great idea. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Disney's Halloween Horror Nights. No. No,
That's just
it's
what I
painting.
had in my head.
Nothing sharp.
That makes more sense. Yep.
I can't imagine painting something and then trying to fit like a giant cutting board or cheese platter thing like in my luggage. But,
Yeah.
if you're local, it could be kind of a fun thing to do. Go during the holidays. People decorate their cabins. They decorate their campsites. They bring campers. They decorate. People put stuff on their golf carts. Like
Halloween
people
is
go all
huge.
out. Yes.
Yeah. They do like the golf cart parades and stuff. They're actually really cute to see. Yeah.
And I think that if you enjoy being outdoors, this is a great resort for you. If you want more of a quiet environment, or if you're planning on spending more time at the resort, this might be something to look into because there are so many like activities that you can do there. And some of them have no additional cost. So just something to kind of think about.
This resort just makes no sense to me. Like I can't imagine being 3 minutes away from Disney, but being out in the woods in a cabin. Like that dynamic doesn't make sense in my head. But I know people absolutely lie. Like I know there's people that this is the only place that they'll stay because that's what they want. They want to go in the parks and have their crazy day where there's people everywhere and it's loud and it's overstimulation, and then be able to go back to a nice, calm, serene environment in a cabin that night
Mhm.
and enjoy that aspect of it. So I guess it makes sense, but like in my head, I'm like, no. Also, you're never going to pay me, let alone have me pay these prices to go camping. I'm not that girl. Not that girl. Sorry.
It's a cabin. It's like
Yeah.
indoor plumbing is included.
I don't care. I don't care. Put me at the contemporary. Sorry.
Okay, well, if you don't want to pay those prices, then I would say check out the next resort that opened on October 1st of 1988, and this is Caribbean Beach Resort. There are 2,112 rooms. This is a very large resort. It does oftentimes get that like moniker as being a large resort.
Oh, yeah.
However, I mean, for myself, yes, I do run frequently. I have done Run Disney, but I don't know. The way it's laid out, there's a branch of rooms that's kind of across from the main Skyliner area that are a bit
Yeah.
removed, but everything else, I don't, it's not that bad for me. I honestly,
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of the man-made lake that they have there. I like it. People call this
I
the
do
poor
too. I
man's
haven't stayed there
Polly.
since the 90s, to be honest, but I mean, I
Yeah.
liked it even then. So, well, that was like pre Skyliner and everything, which is like one of the huge
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
now. So,
Yeah, our first time was pre-Skyliner. It was actually the first hotel we stayed at as a family, so it has a bit of I'm a soft spot for it.
same with me. Yeah. Yeah. Same.
But as I'd mentioned, this is the Poor Man's Polly, is what it's called. It has that very like Caribbean themed, very island themed, but the prices are going to run you between $300 and $450 a night. The rooms are
Mhm.
about 300 square feet, and they do have many fifth sleepers, so you can fit, parties of five in these rooms. They have some really nice dining options, very different from some of the other places on site. Sebastian's is their sit down restaurant. It kind of juts into the water a little bit, and it's open for dinner, offering Caribbean inspired dishes. The Centertown Market is their quick service in their like main building. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite quick service resort places to go. Again,
Hmm.
the food is different enough. It's not just going to be, I think they have chicken tenders and stuff for kids, but it's not just that. It's like a lot of fresher, lighter, healthier options that I tend to gravitate towards if I'm going to eat something and it's like hot out.
Yeah.
They also have a really fun pool bar called Banana Cabana. So I enjoy grabbing some drinks from there. The Calypso Trading Post is their shopping in the main building. And honestly, it's a good size shopping area. And every time we stay there, they always have some sort of unique souvenir that I end up not seeing anywhere else on resort. I don't know how they
Hmm.
manage that, but it can be a really nice place if you're looking for something kind of unique. Melinda mentioned, the Skyliner does cross through here, so that will take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You will need to take a bus then to either Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. The nice thing about this resort, though, with the Skyliner is it's on a main hub. So you
Yeah.
don't have to like get off and transfer like you do if you're staying at the Valley Resorts a little bit further down. The other
Yep.
thing is, depending on where you're at, you can utilize the Riviera Skyliner station too, because it might actually be closer to where you're staying. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Request a preferred room.
That will get you closer. There, I again, I have a soft spot for this place, but the Fuentes del Moro pool, their feature pool, is so cool. It has two water slides. It looks like the fort right out of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's
Yeah.
also like a hot tub for adults. They have five additional quiet pools spread throughout the resort. They have some really interesting activities too. Like they have characters that come and will visit during the day. There's a seashell painting craft that you can do. And if you happen to be on the opposite side of like the little man-made water feature, I highly recommend using the pathway that goes through Caribbean Key, which is like an island in the center. And that's like where there's a playground. It's very shaded there. So if you're looking for like a quiet place to get away, there is seating in that area. That's also where they do movies under the stars. So I really like movies under the stars there because it's isolated from rooms. We spent a night at one of the places I'll be talking about a little bit later, and the movies under the stars was literally like, it sounded like it was right outside our room, and it was not my favorite place to stay. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. So don't
Yeah.
write it off. Our next kind of sister, sort of like Terra Luna, or what is it? Terra. I should know
Stella
this,
Nova
right?
and Terra Luna. No, you got it right.
There you go. Okay. It's mixing in my head. Things came out differently. These are sister resorts, and that is Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside, which originally opened in 1991 as French Quarter, and in 1992, the second part as Dixie Landings. And then they were combined in 2001 as to what we know them as. French Quarter has just over 1,000 rooms. Most of them are 4-person occupancy. And Riverside has almost 2,050 rooms. And many of these will sleep 5, similar to Caribbean Beach Resort. The theme, the French Quarter is very much French Quarter. It's very downtown, like
It's so
Louisiana,
cool.
New Orleans. And then
Yeah. Mardi
the
Gras.
Riverside is, Riverside is a little more laid back, a little more like greenery, more of like the large plantation homes with the white columns and things like that. Your average cost at French Quarter will run you between $340 and $450 a night, where at Riverside it's about $315 all the way up to $530. Wider range. I don't know why that is, but that's what I found. So
Yeah.
your room size for both is about 315 feet, very similar to Caribbean Beach. French Quarter offers a quick service Sassagoula Floatworks, very like jerk chicken, very much like Southern style cooking. The Boat Rights is their sit down restaurant, which has some really great menu options. There has been recent-ish change to the menu, and it's getting much better reviews than it used to. So if you haven't been in a while,
I
it's a
have
good
heard some
place to
good
check
things
out.
lately. Yeah.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that there's usually availability for this because resort dining tends to have more availability. It's a little harder to
Yeah.
get to because you have to take a bus to get to this resort.
Yeah.
But the unsung hero of dining is the Scat Cat Lounge, where
Heck
you can get
yeah.
your Mickey shaped beignets. So if you stay at either French Quarter or Riverside, you need to make your way over and get yourself some beignets at some point during your stay. For Riverside, we have Mardi Gras would be the poolside bar for French Quarter. For Riverside, we have the Mill Food Court that has an actually functioning like mill-like feature inside with moving pieces. So it's kind of a fun like centerpiece to the food court itself.
Yeah.
There is River Roost Bar, Muddy Rivers Pool Bar. So more quick service options there. Boat Rights will be your only sit down real option between the two resorts. Your shopping is either the Jackson Square Gifts at French Quarter or the Fulton's General Store. Both are decent. They have a good amount of space. They offer pretty much anything you would need. If you forget sunscreen or something like that. They also have souvenirs for kids. Transportation is busing only, although the location I feel like is pretty close to most of the parks, so you're not on the bus too long, which is nice.
Yeah.
Some activities here. There is a painting class, like canvas painting, offered at the French Quarter. You can also do a lily pad mosaic, and kiddos, if you can talk with cast members in the lobby of French Quarter, and they will give you a gold doubloon coin that you can throw into the wishing fountain that's in the lobby. So
That's
yes,
cute.
make sure you do that because it's actually kind of a cute thing. It doesn't cost you anything
Yeah.
else. The other thing about this particular Quarter is, or this particular French Quarter, is that they have welcome beads, Mardi Gras welcome beads. We had some that were left in our room. So if you don't see someone handing them out in the lobby, there should be some in your room as kind of, they were shaped in Mickey. We had 3, like one for the head and then one for each of the ears.
Oh.
So that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
My daughter thought that was like the greatest thing.
I'm sure.
In
Yeah.
terms of activities at Riverside, they have the best moderate pool, in my opinion. It's the Old Man River pool, and it's basically like a gold miners, like a what do they call that, the slush or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but you like
I don't know.
we would do this with, it's the thing where like the water runs, and then we would get these like bags of rocks that had like
I know
sand in
you're.
them, and then you'd
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're like panning for
Yeah.
gold kind of thing.
I know what you're
That's
talking
the
about, but I don't know
design.
what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool. The water slide's kind of neat, and then there's this like little tiny like decorative island, and so the water goes around it, and like that's fun for kids. There's an area that's like more open. It's really shaded, so it's great when it's hot if you're just kind of sitting on the pool side. And it's pretty open as a parent. Of course, kids make friends so easily. Like everybody's a best friend at the pool, like within 5 minutes. So it's nice if you don't want to be in the pool. You can sit pretty much anywhere and see the majority of the pool. So if you have younger kids, that's a great pool to be at.
Okay.
And if you just want the pool vibe, but you don't want to be in the pool, it's a great pool to be at to stay cool because there's a lot of shade here. So that's why I consider it one of the best moderate pools on property.
Nice.
The big thing about this is the world famous Yeehaw Bob Jackson, who plays piano Wednesday through Saturday at the River Roost. Like this guy he is a Disney legend, and he deserves that title.
I've never heard of this. Okay.
If you've ever seen the piano player outside of Casey's Corner in Magic Kingdom, he's like that on steroids. Like he'll like interact and joke with the audience. He's so lively and also like 900 years old. So I don't know how much longer he's going to be working with Disney.
Oh no.
And when he retires, that is going to be a huge loss for the River Roost. So if you have a chance, make your way over there sometime between Wednesday and Saturday evening so you can catch him at the bar, because he is a phenomenal like entertainer.
That's cool.
During the day, there's bike rentals, there's fishing, you can do horse carriage rides, which I actually did this with my daughter, and the cast member was fantastic. My daughter asked her a bunch of questions. We got introduced to the horse. She told us like his name was Thor, and where Thor would like do different types of like service throughout Disney. And he predominantly is a carriage horse, but he also was the horse for the Headless Horseman, for some of the parades for Mickey's Not So Scary. And I was comparing pictures from my party nights, and I was like, Thor is the horse that I saw.
Oh, that's
so it was like really cool to have a
Yeah.
name. Now I know. So
Right.
they're
That's
really
neat.
great people to interact with. The big tip here is that because these are sister hotels or resorts, they have shared pools. You can go between the two pools. Most resorts don't allow pool hopping like that, but this does. It's about a 10-minute walk between the two, but it mostly is shaded. So it's worth checking out both pools if you're going to be there for a few days.
Okay.
All right. And finally, I kind of like alluded to their infamous Movies Under the Stars, and that is Coronado Springs, which opened August 1st of 1997, with the tower being added July 9th of 2019. There are over 2,400 rooms because when Disney does things, they do it big.
Yeah.
The theme of this hotel is a blend of like Spanish, Mexican, American Southwest. Your average cost here is going to be between $250 and $400 a night. So of the moderate hotels, this one generally gets priced the most reasonable. It's again your standard size room of about 314 feet. feet. The Grand Destino Tower that was recently built has slightly larger rooms at 375 square feet. I did notice a difference. I'm just going to say that. I felt like the room was a
Okay.
little bit more open. The
Mhm.
ceilings I felt like were a little taller too. So I think when you have taller ceilings, that just makes the space feel bigger. I don't know.
Yeah,
Must be
for sure.
something messes with your head.
Yeah.
Now, if you're staying in the tower and you have a view of the water features, that at the base of the towers where they do Movies Under the Stars, and let me tell you, that sound carries up the side of the tower. So just be forewarned of that. But they have some great dining options here. Three Bridges is more of like a small plates, like tapas and drinks. It's actually located in the center of the pond, and then there's three bridges that
Three
come off
bridges?
of it. I know, right? Who
Imagine
would have
that.
thought?
So original.
Their quick service is called the El Mercado, and I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. This is the worst quick service resort dining option I have ever experienced. There's very limited soda options. The soda is very slow to come out. It's crowded. It can get very messy. The dining options themselves are extremely limited, especially like grab and go items. They have one small freezer that's like a cooler that you reach into. So like there were nights when they didn't even have Mickey bars available, and that was a disappointment for my daughter. I mean, not the end of the world,
It's
but I was
unheard
just
of
very
at Disney.
shocked. Exactly. I was shocked at the lack of variety. So just something to be aware of.
Okay.
If you plan on utilizing their quick service, it's not great. However,
Good tip.
their full service Maya Grill restaurant that's just down the hall from there is a really nice place. There's great seating. They have live entertainment most nights. The food is not for your pickiest of eaters, though. There are some very traditional, like Mexican, specifically Mexican flair to this. So if you don't like certain seasonings on things, this might be a little more of a challenge. It's not going to be your straight up like tacos.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have somewhat of a picky eater, and she's managed to find something on the menu that she enjoyed.
Okay.
But if you're worried about that, you can always hit up Rick's Sports Bar. It's an elevated bar restaurant. You know, they serve burgers and things like that. And if you really want to go over the top, then I would say head to the top of the Grand Destino Tower to Toledo's. They have some great views. They're not going to be as stunning as sitting at the top of, you know, of
Bar
Grand
Helios.
Helios, but yes,
Yeah.
but they do offer some good views. And if you want just more of a casual dining poolside bar, you have the Laguna Bar. And I have to say, the servers at the Laguna Bar were really great. Okay, interjecting quick story time. We stayed here, and I was just me and my daughter because my husband doesn't like to travel to Disney when there's people. So that's most of the year.
So
I'm slowly
ever.
turning him
Yeah.
over though. Yeah. But we went up and we ordered like a Mickey pretzel, and I had gotten a margarita, and my daughter we had our resort mugs for refilling, and she's like, I kind of want a Mickey bar. And at the time there weren't very many people sitting there, and I'm like, okay. So I gave her my magic band. I'm like, just, charge it to the room or whatever. And the guy walked over before she had even gotten up, and he's like, here, this one's on me. And he just gave her a Mickey bar.
Aw.
And it was just really nice. And
That's the
she's like,
Disney
really?
magic.
Yeah. So, it's those little pixie dust moments that I think really elevate, your experience there.
Yeah.
I will say, one thing that I was super impressed with was Panchito's gift shop. Yes, it's the bird from the Three Caballeros ride. It is massive, and it has a lot of really great stuff in there. So if you don't get to the World of Disney or Disney Springs, you can find a fair amount of items that aren't specific to the Southwest at this place. So I would recommend checking that out. The pool itself is, as the kids say, mid, or if they don't say that anymore, then whatever the equivalent to mid is at this point. It presents really well. You've got this beautiful, like tiered, pyramid with the waterfall running down it. But outside of that, there's like one spout of water that shoots out from a pillar. And let me tell you, when you put like 60 kids in a pool around one spout of water, it's like piranhas feeding.
Chaos. Yeah.
The slide is nice, but my biggest tip to you, I don't know what they made this pool deck out of. I'm pretty sure it is made out of the same, like Satan's backside or something. It is the hottest surface on the planet. Wear water shoes.
Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. It is so hot on that deck.
Keep those crafts
If
on.
you're not, exactly. If you're not into the pool scene, I would recommend hitting up either, again, they have a painting option there, but more than that, they have Sangria University. And if you're not a drinker, they do have a non-alcoholic version where you get a flight of sangria and some chips and salsa. So
done.
It's a
great day right there.
Yeah. If you burn your feet, go and have sangrias. You'll forget all about the pain.
You won't feel it anymore. You're fine.
So those are an overview. I would say the one thing that I can't stress enough about these resorts is that they offer so much more than just the stay. There are a lot of activities at Disney resorts, which is why you should vote for Disney in this week's poll. Sorry, I had to.
I don't go to Disney World to sit there and paint something, ma'am.
Fair.
All I'm going to say, yes, it's nice to have that. And yes, it could be a good amenity for somebody, but like, is it necessary? I think 100%. I'd rather stay at Universal for a lower price. I'll just leave that there. Anyways, we covered a lot tonight. There's a ton. And I know that, so now we've done the like top 3 resorts at each property. We've done all the value resorts, and now we've done this chunk. So that covers all of Universal resorts, but there are quite a few Disney resorts that we didn't touch on yet, just because Disney has so many more than Universal has. So at some point we'll have to come up with some way, like maybe do a bonus episode where we just do the Disney resorts or something like that, so that we can give them their flowers too and let them have their little time to shine. But it's hard to do like a regular battle episode because I don't have anything else to talk about.
Which is why you should vote for Disney.
Stop it. That's not what we're talking about right now. Stop it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Please don't forget to vote in our Who Won poll. We've got one up on Facebook and one up on Instagram. You can vote in both places if you want to doubly vote. Might be cheating a little bit, but I'm not going to knock it. So go ahead and vote in those polls. Let us know what you think. Send us a comment. Give us a like. Show some love. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's battle. Now it's time to let us know what you think. Vote in our Who Won weekly poll on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us at Theme Park Throwdown everywhere. You can also watch video recordings of all of our episodes on our YouTube channel. Just search Theme Park Throwdown. If you're planning your next vacation, we're here to help. Go to portkeyvacations.com and fill out a quote request form, and be sure to request either Melinda or Tricia to be your advisor. Finally, make sure you check out our family of podcasts on the UUOP network. The unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the Taste of Universal podcast, the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast, the Portkey Passport, a Disney podcast for adults, the Theme Park Duo for your West Coast parks, Rush of Fear, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast, and Big Dumb Stuff for all your pop culture comedy. You can also check out our network partner, The Fudge Factor, on YouTube for all their park vlogs. That's it for this throwdown, guys. We'll see you next week in the ring.